cutting-edge audience on MTV, I have got a message for you today that I don't want you to leave that screen, because I'm going to tell you about the history of the recording industry all the way back to the roots. And I know it's going to make you really curl your hair and glue to the screen. Just wait. My name is Jim Russell, and I have been in the record business 37 years, and I was there at its roots. And I started a man like Alan Freed in a managerial capacity, who was the father of rock and roll. He didn't know what rock and roll was until he found out the roots, and that's where it came from. And I'm going to play you one of the records after I show you a little of the label. You see, that type of record is the one that started it all. And when I give you this music, I want you to listen to it, because all of your heroes today have been following its process.
My Sunday woman bring the daily news.
Race music was all black music, and it was music it came right from the heart. Nothing written, nothing prepared. Everything that came right from the heart with just a little old guitar and a brush, and that was it. Then 10 years passed, and in the scene in New Orleans came records such as this one, to pick up where the race music left off, and adding guitars, drums, and things that enhance the record.
Mama don't want that cha-cha done in here.
Let's go back to those days in the 50s, the early 50s, when race music was not allowed to be played on any station in the North, but it could be played on only certain stations in the South. And I, a Yankee in the 50s, I picked it up and played it, but they fired me for playing it because it was race music on a white station. However, I didn't like that aspect of the business, so I walked across the street up 3 blocks and got me another job, and they wouldn't let me play it. So I got a hold of a man by the name of Alan Freed. That's the magic name in this whole country concerning rock and roll. He didn't know what rock and roll was, but I showed him my pink slip that they gave me for being fired for playing that black music. And he says, well, you think there's anything to it? I said, well, why don't you play these? I got yourself a satchel full, play them and see. His phone rang off the hook. He says, man, we got to do something about this.
You had to go.
So we put on a big show in Akron, Ohio. 1,600 black people showed and 2 white people. That was me and my cousin. And we were the only ones there, and it was one of the best concerts anyone's ever seen, but it was all race music. So we went back to the roots again and got all the artists together. We got the Moonglows together. We got the Coasters together. We got all the big stars together. And then the snowball started going when I left him. He continued to be a big star, and I came down here to New Orleans to be a tiny little star. And here we are today, still a tiny little star.
Saturday morning.
Then in the store, 8 years ago or 10 years ago, walks a young fella who became a hero in the 85s, because he's your #1 star, Bruce Springsteen. He comes in a store and he wants race music. He wants rock and roll music. He wants to take pieces of each one of these little records, and he takes it back to his little pad and listens, and he listens and tears apart, and he writes them down, and out comes an album. And you wonder where it comes from. It came from the roots of these records of 30, 40, and 50 years ago. And that's the name of the game today. Never forget it, audience. All of the music you are hearing from the heroes today, like Leo Sayer, the Dire Straits, the Talking Heads, the Bruce Springsteens, all of the big stars, all come to record shops like this or wherever and dig for the old music and take pieces and pieces and pieces of each, put it together, and out comes a hit. Remember, you cult audience out there, where it came from. The roots was all the way back from that black music, not Doris Day, not Rock Hudson, not all these other people on the white side. It was the black music that sent rock and roll into the hemisphere.